What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the second episode of In the Nick of Time. It's good to be back. It's good to be back on the mic talking to you guys. I am Will Nicholson, here always on the Conti and Nick channel. And yeah, I'm thrilled to be back. It's been a while since we've been able to jump on and talk a little sports. Been a little busy, but you know, we're here now. I'm fired up to start to get into this thing, talk a little bit. We got Aiden Nicholson, Ryan Brown already in the chat. Mainly today, I want to talk about a little bit of NBA free agency, but if we get into some other stuff, whatever you guys are feeling like talking about in the chat, I kind of want to do a little bit of an agenda-free type of thing going. So yeah, we'll do that. Really, I want to go over like pretty much every team's free agency move. And I think I just got a call or a text from Conti saying he's gonna be there around 5. Okay, I thought he was saying he's gonna go live at 5. I'm like, all right, I might have to speed through this, power through. But yeah, no, we're here. We're fired up. We're gonna be talking some NBA free agency. I did a lot of promoting today because you know I want a good amount of people to come and hang out and show up. Who's ready? Conti's ready. For all my Spotify listeners, who we do this live on YouTube, on the Conti and Nick YouTube, and then we put it on Spotify after. So if you're listening on Spotify and you want to come and tune in live, that's where you can come do it. We'll post it on our social media, all that fun stuff. I'm stalling because I need to go find this graphic. I wish I still had who made this, because that's going to be my main reference for today. It's not going to be 100% accurate because there's a couple of moves that have happened, and I'm sure that there will be people here to correct me. Gotcha. Okay, looking at Conti's chat again. I thought you were saying you were gonna go live at 5. I'm like, oh, we're gonna speed run through this, but no, I'm looking for this to kind of be maybe a longer episode, just yap about some free agency, and really anyone who's here, anyone who's hanging out, come talk about what you want to talk about, because that's when I have the most fun. Even if it's like not on topic or at free agency, I might talk about some Red Sox. We might get into that a little bit. But until then, we'll jump into some free agency here. So we're going to go through every team top to bottom, talk about some of their moves, what I think about it. We're going to start off in Atlanta. So one of the first moves that Atlanta makes is they go out and they trade for Kristaps Porzingis. Obviously, if you're a Celtics fan, you were updated on that. They send away George Niang, which for the Celtics, it's a salary kind of cut to get under that second apron. And for the Atlanta Hawks, you now have a reliable big man to put around Trae Young. I don't know if maybe reliable was the right word there because KP has been injured, especially in his tenure in Boston. But, you know, he's a good center as far as like when he's on the court, you know what you're getting. You know you're getting a big guy who can stretch the floor. He can hit threes. KP obviously can be a rim roller. He's like 7'2". And Trae Young likes to throw his lobs to the big man when Capella has been around there. Hopefully Atlanta has a lot of good hospitals. Yeah, that's facts. They're gonna need it. KP has been super injured. Super injured. You see. Oh yeah, Cornette 7 on the Spurs. Yeah, that was crazy. And Ryan Brown can't spell Cornette. But Porzingis heading over there. They also signed Luke Kennard, a very good shooter. Dare I say a 3-and-D? I don't think he locks up like that. But yeah, they go and get Luke Kennard, another reliable shooter to put around Trae Young. Kind of that Kevin Herner replacement. I think he moved on. We'll see. And then finally, I think this is probably their best move so far. They go and sign and trade for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So he parts way from Minnesota. Minnesota was kind of, you know, they knew that was going to happen. If you were a Timberwolves fan, you could feel that, you know, that salary cap really starting to creep up on them, and the luxury and the first and second aprons, all that stuff. But No, you could feel that. You could feel that coming for the Timberwolves, especially when they go and re-sign Drew Holiday. Overall, I think this is a good move from Atlanta. I like it. I think they really need to start going all in on Trae Young. I hated the Zachary Risachet pick. I don't think he's a very good player. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but I don't know. That draft was very weak. I think Alex Sarr was probably going to be the better option, and I'm still gonna stand by that. Obviously, both these teams have been pretty terrible. Atlanta should be back though. I think they need to really make another playoff run because Trae Young is going to get disgruntled there. Let's head down to Boston. Next team. I think this is alphabetical order, so I guess that's what we're going through. Gina goes, not sure Trae Young is a guy who can lead you to a championship. Maybe not. Maybe not, but I mean, at this point, you passed on Luka Doncic in the draft to go and get Trae Young. You got to go all in, right? They probably need another wing, I would say, to really make that team a contender. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. Boston Celtics, obviously, they move Kristaps Porzingis and they get Gorgui Niang, and then they trade Drew Holiday and they get Anthony Simons. And then they sign Luka Garza and Josh Minot, a couple of bench players for the Timberwolves who really got gutted this offseason, the more that I look at it. We've talked a whole bunch of Celtics, right? I'm a Celtics fan. We know how and where I stand on all of this. All this is to get below the second apron. I think you're really just playing to, maybe give a guy like Luka Garza and Josh Minot some minutes because they didn't really get a lot of that in Minnesota. You're trying to stay under the second apron. You got to go get Georges Niang. Anthony Simons is going to be a good young player, but with Tatum out for the year, I mean, we knew this was coming, right? We knew that something like this was coming. All the moves. Celtics shouldn't be too good next year with like D. White, Pritchard, Jaylen Brown. I don't know. Maybe they can win a couple of games and make it interesting, but without Tatum, that team will not run the same. And I think even Brad Stevens was talking about that. That's obvious, right? They're not going to be the same team for a little bit. Head over to the Brooklyn Nets. They re-sign Day'Ron Sharpe. They re-signed Zaire Williams. They trade for Terrence Mann, and they trade for Michael Porter Jr., the Brooklyn Nets. I like the MPJ move, especially with Denver wanting to get out of that contract and maybe retool and rebuild. We'll get to Denver, too. I think they did a pretty good job of that. I like Terrence Mann. I think Terrence Mann is a good pickup. I still think Brooklyn is quite far away from even being like a playoff team. I think these moves make it better with D'Angelo Russell, and maybe they can be fighting for a play-in. But Brooklyn, in my opinion, still a couple of years out from making that thing run. All right, let's go down to the Charlotte Hornets. They re-signed Trey Mann. They trade for Pat Connaughton. They signed Spencer Dinwiddie. They signed Mason Plumlee back, and then they trade for Colin Sexton. The big thing for the Hornets really was for their offseason is getting Con Knippel. That feels like it was their number one priority, that they had to go and get Con Knippel. And I think it's so hard to judge a team like this offseason because you want to be hopeful, right? And you want to hope that they get pieces for LaMelo Ball, but hey, who knows? Who knows with LaMelo? I like Sexton. I think he's a good guard. Plumlee, pretty reliable backup center. Do they still have Kai Jones? Didn't he get in trouble? If anyone knows, let me know, because I want to know what happened to Kai Jones. I feel like I saw something he was in trouble. I digress anyway. All right, Chicago Bulls. They re-sign Trey Jones and they trade for Isaac Okoro. They sent Lonzo Ball in that deal. Trying to again just get rid of some of that salary. Ball doesn't have a huge contract, but you needed to move on from him. It was time. Very quick and painless offseason, it feels like, for the Chicago Bulls. Same kind of story for our next team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They go and re-sign Sam Merrill. Obviously, we just talked about they traded for Lonzo Ball, and I believe I saw that they're up in the second apron or right below in the first. Cavs are spending a lot of money, and they need to perform. Uh, Obviously, with Garland, it's looking like Lonzo is probably going to be coming off the bench with Garland, Mitchell. They just moved Coro. So we're gonna have to find out that wing situation, and then you got Mobley, Jared Allen if you want to run the double big. If not, you got options. Also, I said they re-signed or they signed Larry Nance Jr. Another good piece to come off the bench. Him and Lonzo obviously used to playing with each other in those Laker days. I like it. I mean, what more could you really do if you were Cleveland, right? You couldn't make a blockbuster trade. You don't have. I mean, if you're going to, you would have to move one of your top two guys. It feels like Garland might have to be gone though. The way that the NBA salary works, and we get all into this. The second apron is terrible. It's terrible for basketball. I'm not a fan. Also, screw CJ McCollum. I think he was the final vote. I hope that guy gets exiled to the Wizards or something forever. In purgatory. All right, let's move on. Dallas Mavericks. They re-signed Dante Exum. That's probably good. They need some depth at that position. They extend Kyrie Irving. Another big move. Kyrie, I think, kind of found his home in Dallas. He wants to stay there. You never know with Kyrie, but it feels like he genuinely likes being in Dallas with or without Luka. And obviously re-signing there means a lot to him. With Cooper Flag coming in as well. Maybe that got him more. And then they sign D'Angelo Russell. There you go. That was mistaken earlier. I thought D'Angelo Russell was still in the Nets. Guess not. Guess he signed elsewhere. So apologies for that. That's why we got the graphic. Sign D'Angelo Russell. So how is that going to work? The more I think about, are you going to have Russell come off the bench, or do you run him as like a 2 guard? Run whoever at the 3. I saw a video of Mark Cuban talking about, he was texting Jason Kidd about all the different lineups that are possible now with Cooper Flag. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. Detroit Pistons, not a whole lot going on here. They re-signed Paul Reed. They signed Karis LeVert. Fine. Sure. I like Karis LeVert, but not a whole bunch. I think the big story with Detroit is the Malik Beasley stuff with the gambling. And that is yet to be seen. I think the NBA doesn't stand for anything like this. He'll probably be out of the league. That's my guess. Is you can't have a guy like that. Like, this was the big fear with gambling becoming legal in all of these states. Is how is this going to affect players and potentially doing things to help bets? And again, he's not guilty. Innocent till proven guilty. But I don't know. It looks bad. Also, they signed and trade for Duncan Robinson. That happened a couple of days ago. So, I've been out on Duncan Robinson for a while. All he can really do is shoot, and he's been inconsistent at it ever since like the bubble. So, blah. All right. Funny enough, our next team, the Golden State Warriors, what have they done in free agency? Zip, zero, nothing. According to this graphic, they might have made some moves since this has came out, but that's crazy. Nothing out of Golden State so far. Gonna run it back with Jimmy and Steph, Buddy Hield, Draymond Green. I don't know. I don't know if I'm bought in to all of that. Okay, more interesting teams, right? Let's go to the Houston Rockets. They had a big offseason. So much so that this graphic is all over the place. I'll put like this picture on Twitter later, or not Twitter, Instagram, and you can have a look at it. But this is this Rockets part. They had like double stuff up in the column because there's so much that the Rockets did in this offseason. They signed Clint Capella. He's heading back to Houston. He was there back in the days with James Harden in those MVP years. So he heads back to Houston, where I believe he was drafted. Could be wrong on that. It's where he kind of got his name out there for his career though. They signed Dorian Finney-Smith for the Lakers. They got him on a good deal as well, so they got another 3-and-D wing to add to Ime Udoka and that coaching staff, who obviously love guys like that. That's the modern NBA. You're 3-and-D guys. They re-sign Aaron Holiday, another good one, another good defensive guard. Obviously, Drew's brother. They extend Steven Adams, again, keeping those bigs up. I think Adams probably... no, you know what? Because Sengun, is he a 5 nowadays? Anyway, that double big lineup with Capella, Sengun, or Adams and Sengun will look good. Man, they were busy. It was a busy offseason. They re-signed Jeff Green, who I still can't believe is in the league. But he's still playing good hoops, I think. I'm going to go look it up right now. What has Jeff Green been up to? He's 38. In the 24-25 season, he played 12.4 minutes a game. And he scored 5.4 points, 50% from the field, 36% for 3. I mean, decent hoops. He's got some more basketball left in him. Might as well. Why not? Why not keep a guy like that around? No harm, no foul. What else did they do? They did a whole bunch more. They extend Jabari Smith Jr., another guy who plays like the 3 or the 4, depending on what they want to run. They waived Jock Landale. Who cares? Extend Jayshawn Tate. Whatever. Then they extend Fred VanVleet. There you go. Your starting guard. Especially your starting guard now, because this is the big one. They trade Jalen Green, and they trade for Kevin Durant. Now, that's the big thing, and I need to see how this Houston lineup is going to be looking now with KD, because obviously they gave up a lot to go and get Kevin Durant. I'm looking at it right now, seeing what we got. So it looks like you got VanVleet. You still got a Ben Thompson to play that 3. You got Jabari Smith potentially to play that 4, and it says Sengun is a center. So okay, let's put this together. At the 1, you got Fred VanVleet. Playing the 2 for them now. Oh. There you go. You know who it should be? It could be Aaron Holiday. Could be. Reed Shepherd. Who knows? We'll say Aaron Holiday for now. Amen Thompson at the 3. Then you got Jabari Smith at the 4, and then Sengun at the 5. That's a good lineup. They'll be good. I'm not seeing where they're at in the apron, but I'm with it. I think this was a good offseason for Houston. I think they did good. They did the moves they had to make. Trading for Kevin Durant, huge. I was never really a big Jalen Green guy once he got into the NBA. I was big on him coming out of college for that G League Ignite, but was wrong there. Yeah. Good for the Rockets. You done good. A good team, a good lineup, something they can be proud about. The Clippers. We skipped the Pacers. Sorry, the Pacers is really quick. They traded for Jay Huff. Cool. They also lost Miles Turner, so unfortunate there. Now the Clippers. They re-sign Nick Batum. They extend James Harden. They trade for John Collins. They sign Brook Lopez, and they waive Drew Eubanks. The Clippers. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't the Clippers just make another big move that I missed? That's great. I feel like I'm totally missing something that they did. Bradley Beal, probably. Bradley Beal and Chris Paul, probably heading to the Clippers. I don't know if that's official yet. They still got Kawhi, Ben Simmons. I like Zubac. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Clippers, hey, you put yourself in the situation. That's what happens when you try and buy a team, buy a contender. Can't do it. Well, I mean you can, but not if you're the Clippers. They're stuck in purgatory forever. Los Angeles Lakers re-signed Jackson Hayes. Good. They would have literally zero centers if that wasn't to happen, other than like Thomas Bryant. They signed DeAndre Ayton, and then they signed Jake LaRavia. Cool. Bit of a disappointment, honestly. I mean, you got Luca there, but Braun might be on the out. Who knows? It's not looking good in LA. I mean, we'll have to see. It feels like another move has to come for them to go and get someone to put beside Luca long term. Ugh, yawning. All right, let's keep her going. Memphis Grizzlies, not a whole lot here. They extend Jaren Jackson Jr., resign Cam Spencer. They trade for Cole Anthony. There we go. So that was a part of that deal. That Desmond Bain deals. They trade for Contavious Caldwell Pope, signed Ty Jerome, and signed Jock Landale. I feel like we already said his name. We definitely did. Oh, he was waived by the Rockets. Okay. Cool. The big thing for Memphis is those first round picks, right? That's the thing that really matters. Congrats. You kind of snubbed the Magic if they end up being bad. We'll see. Yeah, that's kind of it. Not a whole lot more going on. I want to throw in a piece of gum. Please excuse me. I had to reach for it. Yeah, I don't know. What do the Grizzlies do going forward? Move on from Ja? I don't know. We'll see. All right. Miami Heat, another team that didn't do a whole lot. They trade for Norman Powell. Like Norman Powell, good player. All-Star last year? Yeah. Yeah, he was. And they re-signed Davion Mitchell. That's the only thing notable. Good for them. They're still not going to be good. Won't be a good team. It's full rebuild time. They need like a top 5 pick to rebuild that whole situation. Milwaukee, the Bucks, re-signed KPJ, extend Bobby Portis. They re-signed Torian Prince, re-signed Ryan Rollins, re-signed Jericho Sims, re-signed Gary Trent Jr. Wave Damian Lillard was the huge one. From that, they signed Miles Turner, and they signed Gary Harris. What are the Bucks doing? Conti is back. Love it. Love that. What are the Bucks doing, Gino? I don't get it. And I like Miles Turner. I do. But like you give up Drew Holiday and you give Dame all this money, and now for the next 4 years they're gonna have dead cap from the Dame salary. What is Gino saying? Miami will always be the pain in the ass team. They draft, develop players at such an impressive rate. They deserve to have good things happen to them. I agree. Yeah, they kind of remind me of the Celtics in that regard. Their ability to develop talent is very good, but it feels like they got to hit the reset button at some point, and it feels like that's now. Yeah, Milwaukee. I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, it feels like they're forcing Giannis out at this point. Uh, I, I don't get it. You got your golden ticket, right? You got your best player since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Lou Alcindor. You win a championship, and then just you have not been able to put a team around him since. Bad luck. Bad luck. All right, let's over to Minnesota. They didn't do a whole lot. Really just re-signed. They bring back Joe Ingles. They re-sign Julius Randle and extend him to that big old contract. And then they re-sign Naz Reid. Nothing too notable. They lost more guys than they re-signed. Salary cap, all that stuff. Bad juju since they fired Adrian Griffin. Yeah, 100%. Doc Rivers is not a good coach and hasn't been since like the 2010s. No way that he should have been back into coaching. Doc Rivers has been terrible. They've done everything to keep Giannis, and he's still complaining because he doesn't want to be in Wisconsin. I disagree. The dude was in Greece. He went through times being homeless. I don't really think that Giannis is like looking for that like LA or something like that. I think he wants to stay in Milwaukee, but you know, he wants to win. He wants to be a competitor. And the Bucks just keep on making crazy bad move after crazy bad move. All right, let's go forward a little bit here. New Orleans, the Pelicans traded for Sadiq Bey, signed Kayvon Looney, traded for Jordan Poole. Looney and Poole back together. I hope that Jordan Poole looks a little bit better because he got banished to Washington, and I hope that he improves. I had a really bad take on shout out to the part-time pod where I was talking about who I thought the most improved player would be, and this is when Poole just got traded to the Wizards, and I so confidently said Jordan Poole will be the most improved player, and he'll average like over 20 a game and look really good. And that was a bad take. Now I'll say it's a bad take, but in New Orleans, who knows with Jordan Poole? Maybe he looks better. I hope he does. Make me look a little bit better. All right. New York Knicks signed Jordan Clarkson, signed Gershon Yabusele. Good and good. A little bit of big boy depth with Gershon. Jordan Clarkson, you kind of have that spark off the bench once again. Another scoring heavy guard who can go and get you a bucket and be a little bit of reliever for Brunson. The Oklahoma City Thunder extend SGA, who just won a championship, re-sign Jay Mitchell, and extend Jalen Williams. Round of applause. Nothing huge there. Looked good though. Looked good. And you can't be mad. It's hard to do these videos because quiet off seasons aren't necessarily bad off seasons. You just want a ring, right? And you extend like 3 guys that were part of it and resign. That's good. Can't complain there. Can't complain there. That's the only people I can complain about. The Warriors, and Gino wasn't here. Warriors literally have done nothing this offseason. They just lost pieces and have been like, meh. Whatever. Orlando Magic re-sign Mo Wagner, Fran's brother. Keep him there. Obviously, they traded for Desmond Bane. We did a whole episode of Conti and Nick on that. Go and check that out if you want the full Desmond Bane breakdown. And they signed Tyus Jones, former Duke Blue Devil with Zion. Good on the Magic. I think these are good moves. The Desmond Bain trade really needs to work out. Like, big time has to work out for this team to be a contender. I think they could be top 5 in the East. I think they could. I think Paulo takes that next step. Franz too, as long as Franz can just like get somewhat of a reliable jump shot. I'm with it. All right. The terrible, terrible Philadelphia 76ers. Wow. With a team that was this bad. Excuse me. They re-signed Justin Edwards, re-signed Eric Gordon, re-signed Kyle Lowry, and they traded for Trendon Watford. I mean, they're in hell right now. I like VJ Edgecombe. I like him. Good guard. I think he'll pan out, but Philly, what are we doing? Not looking good. Might be time to re-enter the process. Embiid is not a good superstar. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. If I'm a Philly fan, I'm upset. Really upset. You just should be better. Like, you have arguably the best center in the league. I think it's pretty clear he's behind Jokic, but you got a good center and you're just not putting it together. Hasn't worked. Phoenix Suns, you re-sign Colin. I don't even know who that is. I don't care. You trade for Dylan Brooks. You trade for Jalen Green. Trade for Mark Williams. You waive Cody Martin. Suns are rebuilding. I think we know this. Maxey got to be the face of your franchise. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey is a bucket. But you sign an aging Paul George who's always injured. I like Jared McCain. I like VJ Edgecombe, but they have a million guards there now. Man. If I'm the Sixers, I am... First of all, if I'm a Sixers fan, I am pissed. If I'm a Sixers fan, and the best that we can do after a terrible season is sign Trendon Watford and re-sign aging Gordon and Lowry, that's the best you can pull off. I guess you get VJ Edgecombe. Like, sure, this doesn't really talk about the rookies. But still, that's it. That is it. Jason Dan, what's up? Celtics are desperate for a center, and rumors of Daniel Tice are swarming. Thoughts on DT at the starting 5? I actually would love Daniel Tice to be back in the green and white. Shout out to Jason Dan, one of my college roommates back in the day. Great guy. Big Danny Tice fan. And I'm with him. I think right now, you nailed it. Celtics are desperate for a center. They need a guy. Danny Tice, he'll be cheap too. Where is Danny Tice at nowadays? Hold on, we're pulling up Google right now. He got traded to the Thunder in February. What is this? Daniel Tice leaves NBA for Europe, chooses Morocco over 2 big offers. Or Monaco, sorry. So, Jaden, that's going to be, does he want to come back to the NBA? He's playing overseas. Celtics need a center. Who do you really got right now? Horford, Kada. That's kind of it. The kid from Kentucky that you just took in the draft. Danny Tice. I'm with it. Get him back in the green. I love that. All right, well, I totally lost where we was at because if Jason Dan's in the chat, we got to talk to Jason Dan and see what he's thinking about stuff. Always on Danny Tice. I love it. Still on Danny Tice. He's overseas now, so not looking good, man. Yeah, probably not. This would be what, his 3rd return to the Celtics? That'd be crazy. There's a spot for him. Brad likes him. I don't know how Joe feels about him, but I think he's probably better than Kada. And with an aging Horford, like he can start on those nights where You're on a back-to-back, and you got Charlotte on like a random Tuesday in January, right? Like that he's needed there. Might as well go get him. Jada, we're just going down the list of teams talking about moves that they made. And we are right now we're on the Portland Trailblazers, who obviously they traded for Drew Holiday with the Celtics for Anthony Simons. And then they bought out DeAndre Ayton, who headed to the Lakers. And other than them doing some stuff in the draft, that's kind of been it. That's been their whole offseason. Not a whole ton to talk about there. It's funny that Drew's heading back to Portland for the second time. I think that's pretty hilarious. I don't know how much he's going to lead to winning. I mean, he's old, and they're going to be paying him until he's, 38, I think I saw. So that's not great. C's could use Josh Giddey, but I feel like that move would be a bit premature. That's good. That's good. I like that. We need big men. Celtics need big men. We got guard depth. We're fine. Guards are fine. Wings we can figure out. I like Hugo Gonzalez. I think he'll be like a Franz type of guy. Big men are the big one there. For the Blazers, they're going to be bad again. A healthy Rob will in Portland or Dame return. Yeah. Where does Dame go? We talked about the Bucks a little bit already, but does he just sit out for a year and wait? Could he be a Celtic? Who knows? I don't know. I'd like him for cheap. I mean, the Bucks are already paying that dead cap space for the next 4 years. Might as well. I'd be cool with it. Portland, I've stayed on you for too long. Cool, I guess. That's the best I can do. It hasn't been too great down there. You're going to be picking probably top 5 in the draft next year. Again. So, get ready for that. Good luck. Hopefully you have your own pick. I don't even know if they do. Sacramento Kings, you signed Dennis Schroeder and you trade for Dario Saric? Still haven't nailed that down. But yeah, Dame coming off the bench in Minnesota, probably. Crazy part, probably. I think they're all in on Rob Dillingham there. And I think Mike Conley's still kicking it. Now we'll see. As far as Sacramento goes, you're kind of in a no man's land. It feels like they're starting the rebuild. Sabonis feels like he's probably the next to go. And I don't know where he fits. Maybe back to Indiana now that there's no Miles Turner. Yeah. Domas on the move. Most likely, in my opinion. San Antonio Spurs, you signed Luke Cornett, backup center for Wemby. Like it. That's the only thing that they've really done, other than getting Dylan Harper. Jason Dango and Dame probably going to rehab at home in Portland and then sign with Boston in a few months. Good. Yeah. I could see that. We still have time, right? Like training camp for the NBA doesn't start till September, October. In the football season, in the mist. Big Luke gone in San Antonio. You hate to see it. San Antonio got a good one. You got a good backup. Big. Gonna miss him. Danny Tice's spot is right there. All right, Toronto Raptors. And I do want to probably get into some Red Sox stuff a little bit. And I definitely want to now if we got Jason Dan hanging around. We'll wrap this up here. Toronto Raptors, they re-signed Jakob Poeltl, and then they signed Sandro. I'm going to get this wrong. Malmukalashivi. They re-signed someone. Celtics legend Luke Cornett and Kelly Olynyk trying to be Celts so bad. Yeah, they want to be back, man. I know. I feel it. Toronto, this is a nothing burger of an offseason. Hopefully your rookies pan out. Best of luck. They really haven't recovered since 2019. It's been sad. And like that bubble year where they were competitive with the Celtics. Other than that, it hasn't looked too hot for the boys over in Toronto. Utah Jazz. Other than getting Ace Bailey, who does not want to fucking be there. That guy does not want to be in Utah at all. They traded for Kyle Anderson. Shout out Slow Mo. They traded for Kevin Love. Traded for Yusuf Nurkic. They waive Johnny Juzang. Yeah. And they bought out Jordan Clarkson, who went to New York. Yep, got it. Couple of different players. I mean, you're still in rebuild mode there. You got some good pieces. Larry Markkanen's good. Walker Kessler, decent big. Now you have Ace Bailey, who you're hoping is going to pan out. And they just got the kid from Florida. I forget his name, but he was huge in March Madness. Dang. Talked about him a little bit. His name is blanking on me. Walter Clayton. There we go. Can't believe I forgot that. Walter Clayton's a bucket, though. I hope that he hoops out there. Him and Ace might have a good duo going. Last time we talked, we did a whole part on Ace Bailey, so I'm not going to harp on this too long. It's this... I'm trying to find the right word. It's heartbreaking. We'll say that. It's heartbreaking to see this is what the league has become, where these guys who are just coming out of college think they have this much control to go where they think that they belong. Go hoop in Utah, man. Go play good, and then if you want to get traded and they're not building around you, fine. But play an NBA game first, please. Love Walter Clayton, too. All right, the Washington Wizards. They traded for CJ McCollum. Screw CJ McCollum. I hope he's there forever with the second apron voting. Not a fan. They traded for Dylan Jones. They traded for Kelly Olynyk. They traded for Cam Whitmore. And they waived Anthony Gill. Again, the Wizards still rebuilding. I feel like they've been rebuilding since John Wall left. They have been on the absolute rebuild. Any trade predictions? We were just talking about a little bit earlier. I think Domantas Sabonis could be on the move for the Kings. It feels like they're rebuilding. That would be my guess. Also, I don't know what Philly is going to do with all their guards. Because who do they got now? They got Edgecombe. They got Jared McCain. They obviously have Maxey. It feels like they have one too many guards, too many mouths to feed over there. So who knows? I'm a big VJ Edgecombe guy. I feel like I talked about a lot more trades as we went through. It feels like Golden State has to do something. I don't know if they move on from Draymond Green. It feels like if they were going to move on from Draymond Green, they would have done it in 2020. They haven't so far. Trades are hard to predict, right? Because everything has been so random, especially in this offseason. Like, who would have thought that Desmond Bane of the Memphis Grizzlies will go to Orlando for like 4 first-round picks in Cole Anthony, who's a decent spark plug backup guard? Like, no one thought that was coming. So I have no idea. The NBA is so random. This graphic that I have pulled up, I don't even think got everything, because I saw this on Twitter and I saved it a couple of days ago, and I'm pretty sure moves have already been made that makes this outdated. So I have no idea. People could go anywhere. Especially with the second apron, too. The second apron's been terrible. Like, the OKC Thunder, and I feel like I'm predicting the future with this. They're going to have to choose the Thunder between Chet and Jalen Williams, J-Dub, very, very soon. They're going to have to decide. Because that second apron, it's coming up. Especially you just extend SGA. And the crazy part is, I think they stick with Chet. I think they do. And then J-Dub's on the move. I have no idea for trades, though. There's so... I feel like in past years, you could kind of feel stuff was coming. Like, okay, you know, maybe they make a move. Maybe this happens. But then, like, Jalen Green is now a Phoenix Sun. Like, who knows? No idea. Chet signed a max extension today? Well, there you go. The second apron's creeping up. They're not going to be able to live like that forever. Not a chance. I mean, if a team like the Celtics can't do it, you're telling me Oklahoma City can keep like 4 max players? Not a shot. Not a chance in this world that this happens. Indiana kind of got screwed too. Losing Miles Turner like that. Hate to see it. It feels like the Clippers have to make a decision really soon if they want to buy. And I'm just summarizing everything now at this point. We've worked through every team. The Clippers need to decide pretty soon if they're rebuilding or not. So we'll see. They're going to have to clear up guys like Lou Dort and Alex Caruso. Yeah, they will. But at that point, I feel like you probably just move on from J-Dub. Like, I like J-Dub, but I think a team with Shea, Chet, and like a bunch of like very good role players is better than like having those 3 and then trying to fill in the gaps. I don't know. Let's talk some Red Sox. I've been dying to talk some Sox for a little bit. So Fitz gets his first win as a starter the other day. They got the Rockies again at 7-10 tonight. They're over 500. They're 48-45. Bats have been on fire. My question for all of you, though, Clippers can't rebuild because they... I know. No, that's the crazy part. The Clippers cannot rebuild. Shout out to Magnus. The Clippers cannot rebuild because they don't have their picks till 2030. Because you bought all in on Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. What is Steve Ballmer down there? Who knows? Red Sox, though. Roman Anthony already my GOAT. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit with the Red Sox. So, with Bregman coming back, and the Bats have been on fire, they're playing well, what do you do when Bregman comes back? Because someone's going to have to go down. Yoshida's coming back, too. It's going to get real awkward in the next couple of months. I'm looking at the news headlines right now. Red Sox reinstate Masataka Yoshida, and they send down Nick Birdie to the 60-day IL. And yeah, 98-5, 53 minutes ago. Red Sox have officially overcrowded outfield with Yoshida. So what do you do now? Rafaela has had a strong bat. Do you have him DH? Boston Sports Journal says Alex Cora has a plan, quote, for playing time, potential trade chip, Jarren Duran. So is that what you got to do? Do you have to move on from Duran? Bregman third, Meyer shortstop, Story second. I'm with you, but do you keep Roman Anthony in the outfield? What do you do when Yoshida comes back? Who plays first? It's tough. Trade Duran? I don't know if you trade Duran, though. Duran's looked good. And look, the easy answer to this feels like, or maybe not easy, but it feels like you send Meyer or Anthony back down. Because the thing with Meyer isn't it the thing with Meyer, he can't hit against lefties? Isn't that like the big concern with Marcelo right now? Is that he can't hit lefties? So do you send him back to the minors for that? I don't think so. I think his glove is phenomenal. Even at third, when he's a shortstop, he's looked good. He's made plays there. 25 minutes ago, I'm just reading all of the headlines right now. Red Sox predicted to bring in second base phenom to Boston. Who are they talking about? They scroll through. Gavin Killen is the prediction to land in Boston. I don't know. It's awkward right now. Yoshida isn't good an outfielder. Duran is doing good against the worst competition in the league. So do you trade Yoshida? I don't think so. I don't think that's a good answer either. But like this is what happens, right? You bring up the young guys, they look good because people are injured, and I think that was a good move. But if you're Cora, what do you do now? Like, Anthony was DHing the other day. Do you have him do that? And do you just let the outfield go with Duran, Rafaela, and Yoshida? Like, is that the plan we're going for? And by the way, I think Conti absolutely nailed this. Bregman third, Meyer short, Story second. I think that's the right move, right? But now it's about the outfield and what do you do with the kids, right? Keep Yoshida. I don't trust Duran to keep this up once he faces better teams. What has Duran's batting average been looking like? MLB Network rumors. We're just chilling now. I'm just opening up Twitter. Joe Ryan is being monitored by a number of teams, including the Red Sox. That was the official MLB Network earlier this morning. Or earlier this afternoon, I should say. I have no idea. And I'll tell you this. The answer cannot be you send one of the three young guys down to the minors. I'll be so upset. I'll be so disappointed if they send down Anthony, Meyer, or Campbell. Campbell's bat before he got hurt, it was good. He was swinging. Me and Conti were talking about, do you keep him as a DH? And you're letting him learn second. But then where do you put Story? And look, you have options, right? And that's the beauty of baseball. You have options where you don't have to play all these guys at once or one day. But now it's overcrowded. And now who do you send down? I don't know. I'm pulling up the depth chart right now. It's tough. It's tough because all right. So Sadon can play second. So can Toro. I don't know. What's the opinion of the boys? Your outfielders, you got Duran, Anthony, Abreu, Ref Snyder. You got Yoshida coming back. Rafaela can play in right field. Who knows? No idea. Hunter Dobbins? I don't know. Do we know who's pitching tonight? I can probably find this out pretty easily. No idea. I'll figure it out. It's gonna get weird. I'm telling you, the Red Sox stuff is gonna get weird, and I don't like any answer that I've been told. I don't want anyone to get sent down. Can we see who's pitching yet? Not yet? Okay. We'll figure it out. Who's on the mound tonight? Roman Anthony to make debut at new position with Yoshida active. Wow. There we go. I don't know. And I wanted to, here's the thing. I wanted to yap and rant about the Red Sox. But I don't have, like, I'm just blindly yapping about stuff. Like, I have no idea what they're going to do. Campbell was sent down already to learn first base. Yeah, well, he was injured too. That stuff I get. I don't know. It's getting crowded. It's getting crowded in the Sox. We'll see. Tonight should be a good game. They should sweep the Rockies. Rockies aren't good. They're what? They've won 20. They've lost 71 games, so they're 21-71. Yeah, sweep them. Get this over with, and then we'll take the Rays tomorrow and Friday. That's kind of all I wanted to get on here and talk about. We went for almost an hour. I appreciate everyone for coming out. Talk about some NBA free agency. Was popping a little bit today, so I appreciate everyone coming out, saying what's up. This is going to be on Spotify later. Make sure you follow Conti and Nick on Instagram at Conti and Nick. That's where you'll find all the updates, everything like that. Appreciate everyone for coming out. It's been a good time. I want to keep doing more of this style where we kind of just come on here and yap. like I had the plan obviously to talk about free agency, but you know, getting into the Red Sox always fun, especially when they're exciting this year and there's a lot of drama going around. It's always fun to get involved with stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's kind of gonna do it, at least for me. Conti's gonna be back soon with Ginormous. And more Conti and Nick will come to you soon. Thank you for hanging out. We will see you next time on In the Nick of Time. Peace out, everyone.